When you first create a table here in Microsoft Word, you choose the number of rows and columns, and then when you look at the columns, each one has the same number of rows. And when you look at the rows, each one has the same number of columns. That's the default. There is a way to get around that. You can merge cells together and even split them up in a table to add some customization. We're going to continue working with our asparagus file. Asparagus 7 if you've jumped to this lesson and need to catch up. On page 1 we have our ingredient list. When we added the new row to type in ingredient list, maybe that should be centered across the table. So we select it and we go up to centering here in the paragraph section. And it's actually centered in the column, not in the table. And there's this line between column 1 and 2. This is an ideal opportunity for us to actually merge these two cells together into one big one. So let's do that. We'll click anywhere in the first cell in the first row and drag across. And you'll see both cells are now selected or highlighted. So at this point we want to merge them together. Of course, we are inside a table, meaning our table tools appear with a design and a layout tab on the ribbon. Click layout, and from here, in the merge section, you can see we can merge cells together. Give it a click, it becomes one big cell. And look at that, ingredient list is now centered across the top of our table, just like that. Now what if we'd done that down here in the second row as well? Let's click and drag across quantity and description and merge. All of a sudden that makes no sense. It looks like one big cell and we have quantity and description one on top of the other. It makes no sense. We should really split this up. So with our cursor anywhere in this one big cell, we can go to split cells. When we do that, we get to choose the number of columns and the number of rows if we want to split up the rows as well, which we don't. We just want to turn it into 2 columns, but we could turn it into as many columns as we'd like using the up and down arrows, typing in a number. Same thing for our rows. When we click OK with 2 columns and 1 row selected, look what happens. It's now split, but it's split down the middle. So there is some adjusting that's necessary. We'll get that double arrow pointing left and right on the border between our 2 cells and click and drag it. So it matches up with our original columns and let go. You can just click off to the side to deselect to see the end result. So whenever you need to merge cells together, they could be rows across columns. You can do that by selecting them first and then going up to those layout tools under table tools. Same thing goes for rows and or columns that need to be split. Keep that in mind when you want to customize your tables to fit the content the way you need to.